Hello, everybody. It is Sister Colton here, ready to start another week, and we are starting lesson 5. If you look over here, we're looking at decision making and goal setting. And so, goals are very important, and this is something I feel like I probably do, if it's possible, too much, is I'm always setting new goals and working towards them and not always reaching them, but always trying, which is just as important, I try to tell myself. Um, I just wanted to talk you through this topic. If I go into the topic introduction section, it shows you that there's something called SMART goals, and if you haven't heard of this before, SMART stands for something, so it's an acronym where each of the S-M-A-R-T stands for something. So here is where it tells us what that stands for. So a good goal should be a SMART goal that is specific, rather than I'll just get better this week at reading, growing spiritually. It might need to be a little more specific. Measurable. Make sure you can measure it. By the end of the week, I will see that I've read my scriptures 5 days of the 7 days that week. Something you can measure, not just becoming more spiritual. It's hard to measure that. Attainable, something that you can reach. If it's something way far-fetched that might take years, that might be a little more of a long-term goal. But something that's doable, like being able to fly, that's probably not an attainable goal. Make sure it's relevant, so it's related to something that you're wanting in your life right now. And then time-bound, like I'm saying, in 1 week, I will be able to do this. So it's something that you can reach and have time set to it. And so as we look at that, it explains each of those right here. So take some more time to look at what each of those stands for. And if we go into our application activity in our post gathering folder, I am going to show you that we read a little bit about President Faust's words, and there's 3 steps to making a decision, a conscious decision, and evaluating the facts on both sides, so the pros and the cons, using prayer, and then following inspiration. And so before we set goals, we need to know where we're at and where we want to be. So it walks you through the steps of what we want you to take before setting goals. And then it's going to have you ensure that this goal is one that can be completed by the end of the week. So you have all this coming week to work on it. Like I said, don't make a goal, by the end of the semester I'll be able to do this, because that's not something you'll do in a week. Make sure it has all those SMART characteristics, and I'm going to show you. Let me just hide my face for a second. The hard thing is, because I'm in the way, let me just slide that over for a second. So it just walks you through what you're going to need to do. List the goal or priority you want to achieve, different ways you could reach it, and then pick the best way. So look at different ways to reach your goal and then pick one that's going to be the best way. Then it asks you, it says through prayer and pondering, develop a goal that can be completed by the end of the week. I'm reminding you again because I think every semester we have students that make goals for the end of the school year or the end of this year or in 5 years, and make sure it's specific enough. Then it has you write it, decide how it's measurable, how it's each of those things, and then it's going to ask you if you've gone for prayer, and how the Holy Ghost can help inspire or influence your decision on what goal to set. So that was just a little preview of what the application activity is for this week. So I want you to start early thinking about this week so you can be pondering and praying about what would be the best goal for you to set right now in your life. The other thing I wanted to point out is your listening and speaking logs. Just a reminder to read the instructions in each of those. If I go into it, remember you can choose from either the intermediate activities, or if you think you're a little more advanced, try these activities. And for your best interest, I think it'd be wise to pick 5 different activities. Nowhere does it specify that they need to be 5 different ones, but for me, if I were doing it and I want to get the most out of it, I would pick one each be different. So 5 different activities. So I'm not going to listen to the radio 5 days and count those. I would try something different so that we have a variety of skills we're working on. The other thing I want you to notice is every time it asks you, write the number of the activity. So say I practice speaking English with someone other than your speaking partner or peer partner. That's something I wanted to point out. It should not be the speaking partner you speak with or the peer partner. This is another additional speaking activity where you pick someone else to talk with. And then explain what you did. So maybe I sat and spoke with my grandma, who's proficient and worked on my English. Then this is the thing that some of us are missing, is explain what you learned during this activity. So tell me what you learned from that experience. And I want you to do that for each of the 5 activities. So be watching for that this week. The last thing I wanted to point out, I'm going to do a little feedback from what I'm seeing in your either discussion boards, in your application activity, your vocabulary quiz, and in your logs, is the importance of having a capitals, I put that all in caps, but capitals at the beginning of sentence, and end with punctuation. Now this can be an exclamation point, it can be a period, it could be a question mark. Okay? You decide depending on how your sentence is. Let me give you an example. If you type it in your Word document, I'm using Word right now, it will automatically change. I'm seeing a lot of people doing I by itself. Let me show you. I want to see it. I'm on caps. I. It will automatically change it to be a capital I. Never should we have an I be by itself and be lowercase. It should always be capital. So we shouldn't see that. It should be the capital I. Okay. So maybe I wrote these sentences. I like to go around helping people. And then I put a comma. When I look around, I see who is in need, comma. I feel proud when I help others, and I have friends that could use some help, comma. I will see this week if I can help them out. So I'm seeing some of us doing a lot of commas, and commas are when you don't have 2 phrases that can stand alone. Like if it's, I like to help others, maybe so I can be happy. Okay. Now, it can't be a period, because listen to what it sounds like if I put a period there. And then if I had a period, it'd have to be a capital. I like to help others. That makes sense. We have a subject, a noun, it's I, talking about me. And what am I doing? So what's my verb? Help. I like to help. So I'm helping. So that's a full sentence. I like to help others. It can be a sentence by itself. But this sentence, does that make sense? So I can be happy. Starting with, if I just read that by itself without this part, so I can be happy, I'm not sure. So you could be happy what? What did you do so you can be happy? So it can't stand by itself. It can't be alone. And that's why, whoops, I've got that document pulled up. So that's why we need to make sure that I like to help others. That's when we would do a comma. And we don't need a capital. We only do a capital when it's a new sentence. But let me show you up here the way that we can tell if we need a comma or a period. I like to go around helping people. That's a complete sentence. What am I doing? Helping people. So I'm going to put a period. Okay. But now that I have a new sentence, I can't see how it's left it underlined. It's because we need to start with a capital. So that's why typing in Word can underline those problems and change anytime we don't start with a capital. So that's why it's important to use Word maybe, and then you can come here and copy it and right click, copy, and then you go into your assignment and then you just right click or go to edit and then paste, and it would put it back in there. So that's why I like to work inside a Word document to help me catch those problems. So I start with, so far I've started that sentence with a capital, I started this sentence with a capital. See if this will make sense. When I look around, I can see who is in need. That's actually a complete sentence. I probably don't even need a period. I could just put, or a comma, I could put a period. because I is the subject. What am I doing? Looking around. It's a complete sentence. When I look around, if I just, I can see who is in need. So I have a period, so that's why my next sentence is going to start with a capital, also because it's an I by itself. I feel proud when I help others, and I have friends that could use some help. Those could even be two separate sentences. I feel proud when I help others, period. So I don't need to start the sentence with and. I can even take and out and start with I have friends that could use some help. And maybe I want to use, there's something called a conjunction, a word that connects these two thoughts. I have friends that could use some help. I will see this week if I can help them out. I could use the word so. So I will see this week if I can help them out. Now what's missing from this sentence? We started with a capital. Good job. Remember the capital at the beginning of the sentence. But I need to what? End with punctuation. I have friends that could use some help, so I will see this week if I can help them out, period. I need to end with the period. So I hope that explains a little bit the emphasis that we need to have capitals at the beginning of every sentence and then end with some sort of form of punctuation. Oftentimes it's a period. If I'm asking a question, it's a question mark. I saw my friend and I asked him if I even the sentence, how are you? That would be a question, so I'm doing a question mark. If I'm writing a letter to a friend, lots of times that's how you might start. So I hope that's helpful as can be done in most of your assignments is where I'm seeing still those capitals missing. And I will stop there because this is getting to be a long video. So I hope, I'll minimize that. I'll put my picture back up, and I hope this week's a good one for you. And goal setting, like I said, I think it's what helps us strive to continually improve and get better. And I can tell just from each of you and my interaction I've had with you and getting to know you better that that's what you're all seeking right now, is setting this goal to be in Pathways and to learn and grow. And I look up to you for that. And let me know, send me an email if you're having problems, questions, concerns, or just need some advice or help with an assignment. I'm happy to be as helpful as I can to you. And I hope you have a wonderful week, and we will talk to you next week. Bye, guys.